fundamental mistake I had always made, and that she had, in fairness, always led me to make, was this: Margot was not a miracle, she was not an adventure, she was not a fine and precious thing. She was a girl.
Margot Roth Spiegelman, whose six-syllable name was often spoken in its entirety, with a kind of quiet reverence. Margot Roth Spiegelman, whose stories of epic adventures would blow through the school like a summer storm.
For I don't know. Not being the Margot I had expected her to be. Not being the Margot I thought I had finally imagined correctly.
I have never really thought of him as a person, either. A guy who played in the dirt like me. A guy who fell in love like me. A guy whose strings were broken. Who didn't feel the root of his leaf of grass connected to the field. A guy who was cracked, like me. He was always just a body to me.
Before I got here, I thought for a long time that the way out of the labyrinth was to pretend that it did not exist. To build a small, self-sufficient world in a back corner of the endless maze, and to pretend that I was not lost, but home. That only led to a lonely life, accompanied only by the last words of the already dead. So I came here looking for a great perhaps, for real friends, and for more than minor life.
Here's what's not beautiful about it. From here, you can't see the rust or the cracked paint or whatever, but you can tell what the place really is. You can see how fake it all is. It's not even hard enough to be made out of plastic. It's a paper town. I mean, look at it, Q. Look at all those cul-de-sacs, those streets that turn onto themselves, all those houses that were built to fall apart, all those people living in paper houses, burning the future to stay warm, all the paper kids drinking beer some bum bought for them at the paper convenience store. Everyone demented with the mania of owning things, all the things paper thin and paper frail, and all the people that lived here too. I lived here for 18 years, and I've never once in my life come across anyone who cares about anything that matters.
That's always seemed so ridiculous to me, that people want to be around someone because they're pretty. It's like picking your breakfast cereals based on color instead of taste.
Just remember that sometimes the way you think about a person isn't the way they actually are. People are different when you can smell them and see them up close.
When did you see each other face to face? Not until you saw into my cracks and I saw into yours. Before that, we were just looking at the ideas of each other, like looking at your window shade but never seeing inside. But once the vessel cracks, the light can get in, the light can get out.
Isn't it also that on some fundamental level we find it difficult to understand that other people are human beings the same way we are? We idealize them as gods or dismiss them as animals.
What a treacherous thing it is to believe that a person is more than a person.